Hello and welcome everybody to a special Champions edition of Shot Clock Violation. Now, for those who didn't know, we are here and all of our contestants today have won a show. Now, nobody has won multiple times yet. So we're going to crown our first ever multi-time champion today. And we've got an all-star panel. Our reigning champion, Amber Williams, followed by Akshay Kumbar, Jaya Williams, and Will Reed. Now, I gotta give the only opening words, only one person can get them, and we're gonna let them go to Amber here since she's defending her title. Amber, how are you feeling coming into today's show?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited getting to compete against all these amazing champions.
Short and sweet, but it is the Champions Edition. That's the key word today, champions. We want to see who's going to come out on top. Now, we've got a great bunch of topics here today, and we're going to start in round one with what everybody is talking about. Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, Giannis dropped a 50-point double-double to close out the Phoenix Suns and win Milwaukee's first NBA title since 1971. Our reigning defending champion, Amber, you get to go first on this one. Just how great was this historic performance from Giannis? You are on the clock.
So he is one of only 7 players to have ever scored 50 points in an NBA Finals game. And he also had 5 blocks. So altogether, it was just an absolute insane game. For me, it personally reminded of the time when LeBron James was playing with the Cleveland Cavaliers and against the Golden State Warriors in 2018. And he scored 51 points in that game. You know, it's only one away from that. So, but this performance was more important, of course, because it was what stood between the Bucks and their first championship in 50 years. So the Bucks got a total of 105 points, which means that Giannis himself scored almost half of the points for this championship team. I don't think you can do much better than that. It was an absolute insane performance by him. And of course, you know, he got MVP, I think rightfully so. Giannis was the reason that the Bucks are the champions this year.
Akshay, what do you think? Just how impressive was that legendary night from Giannis?
Yeah, it was, one of the best final performances we've seen in a long time. But, comparing it to other playoff performances, I don't think it was necessarily the best even this season. I personally think, without bias, I personally think that Kevin Durant's Game 5 against the Bucks, where he had 49 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists, I think that was in terms of playoff performance, I think that was a better game than what Giannis had in Game 6. But, Giannis's finals performance was one of the best that we've seen in a long time. And the fact that he got to win the championship even adds on to that performance.
Yeah, as people in sports media, we tend to get caught up in the moment because that's what we have to do. That's our job. But I like you going back to Durant's 49, 17, and 10 because, back a couple weeks ago, we were saying this is the best NBA playoff performance in the past 25 years. Will, we're going to let you go next. We're kind of going in reverse order here of our champions. What do you think of Giannis's 50-point night and just how historic was it?
Yeah, the real importance was that he won the NBA Finals out of this game. I mean, there's not many players who can say they closed out an NBA Finals game with a 50-point double-double. He had 5 blocks, and let me say those were 5 insane blocks. He was rising up and swatting those things right from the rim. But I think I put this up there with the 45 points LeBron James scored in Game 6 to force a Game 7 versus the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2012. 45 points from Jordan in 1998 from when he closed out the Jazz in his final season with the Bulls. And then obviously the Game 7 with LeBron James and closing out the Warriors to win his first championship back in Cleveland. Those games were impressive. You can name the 63 points Jordan scored, the flu game for Jordan where he scored 38 points. All those games were impressive, but none of them can really match up to, in my opinion, to what Giannis just did to close out the Suns. He led that team. He was the heart of that team. He's such a humble guy. I was super impressed. I don't think you can beat that performance.
Jaya, you were the first ever champion, and you're going to get to close out the first round here. How historic was Giannis's 50-point night to win the NBA Finals?
Now, I wouldn't say Giannis is the best basketball player just yet. However, I think he was absolutely sensational. I think that's pretty clear. I mean, you guys have said it. He made history, and he put his name up there with the all-time greats in that finals performance, if you ask me. I mean, he had 50 points, tied for the most in a finals win in NBA history, and he's the only player to put up those kinds of numbers next to Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and he's the only player to put up 50, 10, and 5. So I'll be honest, I think this is the best NBA finals performance in a closeout game that I've really ever seen. But one thing I think that makes Giannis so unique that people don't talk about enough is his ability to improve and get better. You know, in the championship, he dominated in a way that I think is very different because of him being able to take those critiques. Free throws was one of his biggest things, and he took that in and really corrected that. And I think being able to show that he can improve is one of his greatest assets as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. He stuck it to Chris Paul, who said when he goes up there expecting to miss his free throws, makes 17 of 19 to close them out. That's going to do it for our first topic. And now, still in round one here, we're going to have one more chance for everybody to prove why they deserve to be the first ever multi-time shot clock champion. We're going to transition to a similar topic. And Jay, you sort of hinted at it, so we'll let you go first here. Question is the Greek Freak the best player in the NBA? Now, we know your answer is no. So who is the best player right now, and where does Giannis rank?
Now, like I said, Giannis is up there. He definitely is putting his name up there, and I think should he continue to develop his skills and put in that hard work and effort, he has the potential to become one of the greatest in the future. But I still don't think he's quite as legendary yet as some of our other guys in the league. If I were to say who's the best, I'm still going to go with Kevin Durant. I think the way that he played for the Nets in those finals, we can't forget about what he did during those playoffs. I mean, he had an absolutely amazing performance, and without some of his star players, he really did take the Nets super far, and he's proved himself for years throughout the league. So if I was to say who I think is the best, I'd definitely be going with Kevin Durant. I think Giannis is definitely not too far behind those guys, especially after that legendary finals performance, though.
Sounds like you might be teaming up with Akshay here. Akshay, you're going to have to hold on a second because Will's got the first bite at it. Will, where does Giannis rank in the NBA, and is he the best right now?
Yeah, this question is truly one that's based on how you define the best player and what you value in a player. And for me, Giannis has essentially everything I need out of a basketball player. He's a leader. He's humble. He can rebound the ball. He can play make when he wants to, and he's just absolutely dominant in the paint. Yeah, he doesn't have that three-point shot, but when he's able to play make and dominate in the paint, grab rebounds, he can pass it out to those guys who can't hit the three-point shot like he did have on the Bucks this year with Chris Middleton and Pat Connaughton. I mean, yeah, if we're talking about the most skilled players in the NBA when it comes to playing basketball, you might be wanting a Steph Curry or a Kevin Durant, as Jaya mentioned. But those players are not the best players that I would want on my team. Giannis just has it all, in my opinion. He's up there. I still put LeBron James as the most all-around best player in basketball. Kevin Durant's picked up his defense in recent years, but I think LeBron and Giannis Antetokounmpo, if you put them up there, if you put them out on a court, I would want them leading my team.
Taking the old pickup basketball approach. Those two are out there. I'm picking them first. Akshay, you talked about Durant's playoff performance earlier. Is he the best, or is it Giannis, or is it someone else? What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I have Kevin Durant as the best player. In my opinion right now, I have Giannis as two, but I think Kevin Durant is the best player right now. You know, Jaya hinted at it. He was great in these playoffs, but even in the regular season, despite he's, coming off those injuries that he had in the regular season, the games he played in, he was still exceptional. He was still the Kevin Durant that we all expected. But, even after that Achilles injury in 2019, a lot of people didn't really know what we were going to get from Kevin Durant following his future. He was 30 years old when that injury happened. The injury has definitely derailed some, great players' careers in the NBA and across sports, as we've seen. So for him to come back from that injury and, to continue his game and to improve his defense, to be that exceptional scorer that we always see, and, take that playmaking role that Kyrie Irving usually has in the playoffs as well, I think that it just adds on to his game and just really solidifies himself as the best player in the NBA right now.
Amber, our defending champion, you opened the round and you're going to close it out here. Is Giannis the best player in basketball? And if not, who is it?
So I'm going to have to go with Will. If I'm picking players for my team, I'm going to go with Giannis first right now. So he just got MVP. So technically, currently, he is the greatest in basketball. There are other players, of course, like you guys mentioned. Kevin Durant is insane, but right now he's not the one with the ring. And he did this, Giannis did this on a non-superstar team. He obviously had support from Chris Middleton, but he is the face of this Bucks team, and they just won a championship. He some stats here, he had the most points in a quarter in the finals in the last 25 seasons with 20 points in the third quarter of game 2. So that broke both Kobe Bryant and LeBron James' record. And I think if you're breaking these types of players' record, you deserve to be considered the best player in basketball right now. And he's the first player in NBA history to average 30-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus assists on 60% and plus for shooting in a finals series. He's insane. He proved that he, in my opinion, is the number one.
I love that, Amber. You really did your homework for this one. We appreciate that. Before I get rid of our contestants, they're all wonderful people. They've won the show before. So special shout out to all of you guys for coming back here. But make sure that you are subscribed to the Sports 2.0 Network on YouTube and you check us out, because these lovely people and myself, I don't compare to them, but we put out a bunch of great content on the YouTube channel, on the website, so make sure you check that out. But now comes the worst part of the show, because I have to get rid of somebody, and like I said, I'm getting rid of a champion, taking them out from their hunt to be the first ever two-time champion. And I think it came down to two people here, and just because I'm not entirely sure how the logic checks out here, Akshay, I'm going to have to let you go. Kevin Durant, I feel like he had a chance to say that he is the best player in basketball. He had that incredible performance, but then he lost the next 2 games. Bucks ended up beating him. One of Kevin Durant's biggest critiques is he can't win without superstars around him, and he was isolated because James Harden wasn't playing like a superstar and he lost. So I feel like that was a big hit against him. Akshay, you've been on every show but one. You are one of our favorite contestants. We hate to see you go. But we'll give you any final thoughts before we move on to round 2.
I probably, the sports book probably put me down here as a long shot. So, I'll probably come back next week, try to up the odds.
Well, Akshay, we appreciate you. You're Mr. Consistent. You're here all the time. You're normally in the finals. You won one of the shows. You're a legend in the show. But we're going to have to say goodbye to you now. Thank you for stopping by. But we're moving into round 2 here. And we've got, again, we're narrowing it down. Who is the best participant that we have on Shot Clock Violation? Jaya was the first ever champion. She had a good opening round. Amber and Will, you guys were pretty solid. Round 2 is a short one. We've only got one topic for you here, and we're going to be switching over to the diamond. And I want to know, Will, we'll start with you since you were in the middle. Who in the MLB is the best player under the age of 25? Now, there are a lot of excellent choices here, so I'm really interested to get your thoughts. Will, you are now on the clock.
Simply based off of this past season, I think you have to go with what Vlad Guerrero Jr. has done for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's second in the AL in home runs, only to Shohei Ohtani. I believe he's at 32 home runs now. He leads the AL in RBIs. His batting average is up there in the 320s. He has been simply sensational for the Toronto Blue Jays team, who is trying to hold on to a good spot in the AL East. They're fighting there with the Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. But what he's done has been simply sensational. You saw him in the All-Star game where he won All-Star game MVP against some of the best people out there. So I think he's the best player under 25. You could go with someone like Juan Soto, who's great for the Nationals, or Tatis for the Padres. But I think simply what Vlad Guerrero Jr. has done at the plate for the Toronto Blue Jays this season puts him as the best player under 25.
Yeah, I like that choice of Vlad Guerrero. I don't like you stealing some of our other contestants' answers here. Keep it to one next time, Will. Amber, who is your pick for the best player in baseball under the age of 25?
Yeah, no competition for me here for this. Vladimir Guerrero is the best one at this moment. As you know, Will mentioned 32 home runs in 2021. Absolutely insane. He won the MVP of the All-Star game with a 468-foot home run, which absolutely blasted out of the stadium. And he is the youngest player to win the All-Star MVP. And he's only been playing 3 years, and he's already sitting here breaking records and putting up incredible numbers. He's still young, only 22 years old, and he's already doing such incredible things. I think, yeah, of course you can say Tatis Jr., Soto, they're all amazing, but I just think Vladimir Guerrero has just stepped up, especially this All-Star game, and that's what proven to me that he was the best, and I can't wait to watch him develop more, and I think he has such a bright future, whether it's with the Blue Jays or if he moves on. I just think we're going to see incredible things from him. I can't wait to see him develop as a player.
I know one thing's for sure. The Blue Jays are hoping he doesn't move on. Jay, you're going to close us out here. Who do you think is the best player in baseball under the age of 25?
Well, Grant, I wish I had something different to say, but I've got to go with my co-host here. It's definitely Vlad Guerrero Jr. I mean, look at everything that he's accomplished at 22 years old. I mean, the All-Star game alone was enough for me. The youngest player ever to win All-Star Game MVP. So not only did he win, but he made history. 3 days ago, you guys said it, he just blasted his 31st homer of the season, having an incredible home run on Sunday. He's right behind Ohtani with 57 home runs. Ohtani's at 60. So not only is his future promising, but Guerrero's honestly quickly becoming one of my favorite players, and I'm obviously not alone in that. I mean, there's so much to like about him. He's absolutely on fire right now for the Blue Jays, and I would love to see him even win the Triple Crown. I think that's definitely possible for him, but yes, absolutely sensational work from him. I think has the brightest future of all our young stars out there.
Wow. So this is, I mean, the last round, it's never fun getting rid of somebody here, but now that you all agree, that makes it even harder. If I can just throw in my own personal opinion, because I'll let the cat out the bag. I come up with the topics. I think this one is extremely interesting. But I would have to agree with you guys. I think Vladdy is the best under 25. I would probably give it to Tatis as my personal second. Will, I know we're both Nats fans, so we've got to give a shout out to our boy Soto. But now comes that terrible, terrible time where I have to get rid of somebody. And unfortunately for this round, it's unfortunate because of the way that it fell. But Jaya, you got screwed over by the order here. Unfortunately, that's the only way to put it, really. So I mean, it's just unfortunate for you. You are one of our favorite contestants. You should have rigged it a little so you guys all didn't agree with each other. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to send you home for this one. Any final thoughts before we move on here, Jaya?
Well, at least you guys know it wasn't because of what I said. So what can you do? Hopefully next time you pick me first, Grant. But you guys have a good show.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by, Jaya. Always one of our favorite guests. But now we are moving into the final, and correct me if I'm wrong, this was the final on the last show, was it not?
Yes.
You are correct.
So this is a bloodbath here. Maybe I don't know if there's any bad blood under these scenes. Probably not, because we all love each other here at the Sports 2.0 Network. We're going into the final round here, and just as a refresher to you guys and everybody out there watching, this round is a little different. Instead of having 1 minute to answer each question, our lovely contestants will have 24 seconds to answer each, and then each of them will have 24 seconds to respond to one another. And we will have 3 topics there. So at the end of it, we should have a fairly good understanding of who really knows their stuff in the world of sports here. And that's what we're all about. So the first topic in the final round, Will, you started the last one, I believe. So we'll let Amber start this one. I want to know, and this is interesting because there's a wide array of topics here. What is your biggest storyline to watch at the upcoming Olympics? Amber, you are on the clock.
For me, it's the new and returning sports. So, we have the return of softball and baseball, especially in softball. The USA lost a 22-game winning streak in the 2008 Olympics, the last time it was played to Japan. So I'm very excited to see if they can redeem themselves. And, of course, we have new sports like karate, skateboarding, climbing, and surfing. And I'm just excited to see all the new ones.
Yeah, one of the best part of the Olympics is seeing all the different sports. Will, what's your biggest storyline to watch in Tokyo?
For me, it's got to be the record-breaking potential over on the track for track and field. I mean, specifically in the 400-meter hurdle event. In the men's, you got Carson Warholm going up against Rai Benjamin from the United States. Both of those guys, I mean, Warholm just got the world record. Rai Benjamin is just right there. And on the women's side, you got Sydney McLaughlin, who just broke fellow American Dalilah Muhammad's record. So there's going to be some records broken on the track in that event specifically and all over. You could see something new in the 200 meter as well. No one's really going to break that 1919 from Usain, but you could see something crazy.
Yeah, I like that a lot from both of you. Will, especially the 400 hurdles. That's not something that a lot of people turn the TV on for. Amber, whether you want to talk about Will's choice or you want to talk about track and field, whatever it may be, you have 24 more seconds here. They're all yours.
I am very excited about watching track and field. I actually do quite enjoy watching that, so I'm glad Will brought that up. But I also wanted to point out, if you guys had saw that Tony Hawk posted something today about skateboarding, it was just so heartfelt. He was saying he's so excited for these new athletes who actually get to compete in these new sports when he didn't have the chance to do stuff like that. And I think that's going to be amazing to see this year.
Yeah, Will, before I let you go, anybody out there, if you're not following Tony Hawk on Twitter, he's one of the best follows there is. He's got some really wholesome content. Talks about people walking up to him at skate parks. He tells them he's a professional. They ask him if he knows Tony Hawk. He says, yeah, I know him. He's one of the best follows there are on Twitter. Will, you've got the last 24 for this first topic here.
Yeah, I would concur with you on that Twitter follow. But, yeah, I mean, back to what I was saying about track and field, I'm really excited. There's some great athletes in this from all around the country. But, I mean, if you're looking at our hometown of the United States and all the people that they're going to be outputting, you got the Lyles brothers in the 200 meter. You got Trayvon Bromell as the leader in the 100 meter for the world. I mean, everyone's – I think Moo coming off for NCAA victory. There's going to be so much good talent on the track and field, and I'm just excited to watch it.
Hey, Will, I don't know if you've been taking notes here, but I did just write a story for the network about the best bets for track and field at the Olympics. It feels like you might have been copying some of my notes, Will. I don't know. That's technically plagiarism, I think.
I wasn't looking at your article. I mean, I'm sure it's a great read, but I know my things or two about track and field as well.
There you go. You saved it. You gassed me up. That's extra points for Will. Amber, you're really up against it now. We're going to go back to the hardwood. We were talking about it earlier. It might be too early. It's definitely too early, but I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Will, you get to start this one off. What are your finals predictions for 2022? Obviously, we've got a couple super teams out there, players like Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, rumored to be on the move. A lot of things could change going to next year. So who do you think is going to be in the next finals?
Yeah, based off of the current composition of the teams that we have in the NBA right now, I think you got to go with the two super teams set up on both sides. You got to go with the Brooklyn Nets for the Eastern Conference and the Los Angeles Lakers for the Western Conference. No matter if you get a new point guard for the Lakers, I still have belief in LeBron and Anthony Davis as a duo. And then obviously the Nets, they got James Harden, Kyrie, and KD. They all should be healthy and all have a full season. So I would not be shocked to see those two in the finals.
Amber, the Nets lost in the second round. The Lakers lost in the first round. Do you think that these two teams are going to be in the finals? And if not, who are your picks?
Those are actually my picks. I did the Brooklyn Nets. I have them actually winning it, though. They are favored at a positive 195. And Kyrie Irving and James Harden, they're going to be healthy by then. And it's going to be almost a comeback redemptive win, I hope. And the Nets finished second in the Eastern Conference and would likely have been in the finals if it wasn't for all of the issues they were taking. So I definitely agree. The Nets are my choice, though.
Yeah, I think those are the two names on the tip of every NBA fan's tongue. Will, since you guys are both agreeing again, any other dark horses, any other contenders, teams to keep your eye on that you think could be major players next year?
I think we could see a big return from the Golden State Warriors. They'll be getting Klay Thompson back healthy. He's a very integral part of that team. They might pick up somebody to replace Andrew Wiggins, but even if they do roll out a lineup of Curry, Thompson, Wiggins, Draymond, and James Wiseman, I think that's a team that can definitely compete. Wiseman will grow over the offseason. Steph Curry is Steph Curry, and I think the Warriors can make some noise next year.
Amber, you're going to close us out. Any other teams to keep your eye on next year?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of throw a bone in here. I think the Bucks. I know everybody's saying, this was their only chance, but I think we could see them if they keep Giannis. I could definitely see them ending up in the finals again. I think that would be incredibly interesting. That's something I think could happen, even if all these other players are healthy. They obviously did it this year, so I'm gonna say the Bucks for my dark horse pick.
I like that a lot. It's not often that the defending champion is a dark horse, but in this case, you are probably right. Nobody thought the Bucks were going to get there. Nobody thought the Suns were going to get there. So both of those teams are dark horses going into next year. But this is going to be our final topic here. And Will, we kind of went back and forth about this a little bit on our morning show, Parlay Power Hour. The San Francisco Giants are taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight, the fourth and final game of a 4-game regular season series. We're just coming out of the All-Star break, obviously. So we're starting to get into the second half of the Major League Baseball season, starting to become crunch time here. And the Giants have exceeded expectations by a mile, and they have the best record in their division right now, ahead of the Dodgers, who are the defending champs. So you went first last time. We'll let Amber start it off this time. Amber, if the Giants can win tonight, they will have taken 3 out of 4 off of the Dodgers. Does that mean that the Giants are World Series contenders or even favorites for the National League?
Yes, absolutely. Their major competition right now is in the National League West is the Dodgers. And if they can take this win tonight to make their series against them 3-4, it's safe to say they will be leaders in the West. As far as the National League, the Giants even have the most wins right now with 60. So I think it's a very big possibility.
Well, nobody expected this from the Giants. So if they take 3 out of 4, are they contenders and even favorites for the World Series?
I'm going to have to disagree. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball, in my opinion. They've got the best roster when they are healthy, and that's just what they haven't been. They haven't been healthy. They've been missing Corey Seager for lots of parts of this season. They've been missing Cody Bellinger. Seager just came back yesterday. Trevor Bauer is out on leave. Clayton Kershaw has been injured. They've just been missing a lot of guys and have been having to be led by their second-tier players. So when they are healthy, the Dodgers should be the best team. They should be the World Series champions for back-to-back years.
Amber, throw it back to you here. The Dodgers definitely the best team on paper, but when you look at the season, how things have gone, those players have been missing, but the Giants have been performing. What do you think of Will's thoughts that the Dodgers are the team to beat?
Well, I definitely agree that is the team to beat. I mentioned that the Giants have 60 right now. Well, the Dodgers are second with 59. But I think, this is a strange season. And I think that the Giants have proven that they are able to do that. So I can personally see them coming away, surprising everyone, and getting the chance here.
Well, we are living in strange times. You get the final words of the show here. Amber likes the Giants. You like the Dodgers. You got the last thoughts of the show here.
Yeah, I can't deny what the Giants have been able to do with their roster. I mean, older guys like Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, guys like that, and their pitching staff, DeSclafani, who's going to pitch tonight, and Guzman, they've all been great. But when it comes down to it, those guys are pretty old. They might get a little gassed when it comes to World Series time and trying to win that pennant. I think the Dodgers are going to pull through in the NL, and I don't think they'll really have too much competition from the AL either. So they're my World Series favorites still.
World Series favorites, the Los Angeles Dodgers. And if you want to go, words are hard. If you guys want to know my thoughts on who the two teams to watch are for the NL, it's the Giants and the Dodgers, and I have no clue which one of them is going to pull it out. We think the Dodgers are the better team. Obviously, they have more talent. They have 4 former MVPs, but the Giants have been playing better. And sure, you can say the Dodgers are going to get these guys back, but they might not. They've got their problems. They've got their injuries. It all just depends on where all the dominoes fall later in the season. But that being said, that's going to do it for us here. Make sure you subscribe to the Sports 2.0 Network. Like I said, but now it is the big time. It is the moment of truth, the biggest hour, whatever superlatives you want to use. It is time to crown the first ever 2-time champion of this show. Will, your lucky number is 2. You won your second appearance, whereas Amber's looking to go back-to-back. And we are going to give it, and by we I mean me, because this is my show, I am going to give it to Will Reed. I think that, Amber, you came out of the gates extremely hot. But Will, I feel like put in the extra effort, got all those details into the final round there. So we're gonna let the honor go to Will. As much as it pains to say me, I hate to hear it on our morning show tomorrow. I know it's gonna be brought up, but Will, you get the outgoing thoughts of the show here.
I mean, no offense to Amber, but I bet the sports books had me at favorites. So I'm pulling through for the bettors here. I'm not surprised by my win. Amber's a tough draw. Whenever I see her in the finals, I'm pretty scared. So, I mean, this was a good competition. Obviously, Jay and Akshay were tough too. All previous winners, we've been saying it the whole show, Champions Edition. So this was a tough one to win. I'm glad I pulled it out. And I'm sure we'll be seeing another two-time champion somewhat soon.
Yeah, maybe it'll be Amber. All she does is get to the finals. That's what I've learned. That's going to do it for us at Shot Clock Violation here on the Sports 2.0 Network. I've been Grant Mitchell, joined by Will Reed, Amber Williams, and, of course, our other contestants, Jay Williams and Akshay Kumbar. Allison Park is on production. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.